Welcome, Mr. Gaspar, and welcome to the fund.
It's good to be here.
You were offered a position at the fund in the late 1980s, but your career took a different route, more recently as the Minister of Finance of Portugal. Tell us a little bit about your background.
So in the late 80s, I had the chance to join the fund, and the offer was very tempting. But at the same time, I got an offer from the Portuguese Minister of Finance to join the ministry as head of economic studies. As things turned out, I ended up being the personal representative of the Portuguese Minister of Finance in the negotiations that led to Maastricht. Then when I left the ministry, I joined central banking. In central banking, I worked at the Central Bank of Portugal, but probably the most challenging job that I had was when in 1998 I joined the European Central Bank as its first Director General Research. In that context, I had the privilege of building up almost from scratch the research capacity of one of the leading policy-making institutions in the world. Then I had the opportunity to go to Brussels as head of the Bureau of European Policy Advisors. That certainly contributed to my better understanding of European integration and politics.
What would you say are the major fiscal challenges in the global economy today?
If we start with challenges which are of a general nature, and my favorite example would be demographics. Population aging. The phenomenon has not only direct economic and budgetary implications, it also has broader political implications which have to be followed carefully. And then there is the issue of international spillovers. A classic example is international taxation, but of course in the context of the global financial crisis, you can see all kinds of very strong and important spillovers shaping policy-making around the world.
But fiscal challenges also differ across groups of countries.
Absolutely. And we can use the traditional distinction between advanced countries, emerging market countries, and low-income countries. And if you think about these three groups of countries, for advanced economies, the main challenge in the area of fiscal policy has to do with high debt levels. The main challenge, of course, is to reduce debt levels while at the same time promoting growth and employment creation. If we now turn to the emerging markets, we see that there are a number of different cases. The main focus has to do with risks, and some of the risks come from international or external financing conditions. You can then focus on another group of countries that is very dependent on commodity exports, and of course there the risk comes from commodity price fluctuations. In any case, the key challenge is to have a fiscal policy framework that copes with these risks in an appropriate way. And then if you look at low-income countries, the main challenge has to do with improving the quality of public services and public infrastructure.
What would be your priorities as the Director of the Fiscal Affairs Department?
At a very general level, clearly FAD must provide good services to the fund and its member countries. So if you think about what that means, it means collaborating very intensely, and in particular with area departments. But also with member countries directly through technical assistance, capacity building, policy advice. That's very important. Now, FAD should also be at the center of the global policy debate. That's very important going forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Gaspar.